So today we're going to talk about client fit and how important that is for our spec homes that we continue to develop year after year. So let's get to it. For all of those that have been watching our videos and content lately, we've been talking about client fit quite a bit, how that relates to our core purpose and our core values. And in just a couple episodes, we specifically drilled down into how we can be able to help from start to finish for someone that's looking to build custom. But what about our spec homes? What entails a good fit on the spec or the development side? Well, it's a little bit different. Ultimately, we are going to buy it, then we're going to build it, and then we're going to sell it. Obviously, depending on when we go on market, there's going to be a certain amount of buyers that are available within the marketplace that are looking for something of quality. And I think that that's the first thing that really sets our buyer apart, is that they're not just looking for a new construction home or for any home that fits or checks a few of the needs that they have for their family, but it actually checks most of the wants. Really, when it boils down to needs, this is the first thing that your real estate agent is probably going to be covering with you. What are the basic needs that you have for you, your family, your loved ones, or in your specific living situation, what do you need? I'll be the first to say that as we move on to wants, the reality is that since we build luxury homes, no one needs one of our homes. They want one of our homes. They desire to be in one of our homes. It has so much more than just the basic check marks. Does it have a pantry? Does it have storage? Does it have these things? The wants revolve around, was it built well? Who actually built it? What type of design aesthetic does it bring to the table? Do I feel right when I'm living within the space? Does it meet my lifestyle needs? Is it exactly in the neighborhood that I want to live in, that I could see myself walking the dog, going and getting coffee? Since we build a lot in Arcadia, LGO, maybe you want to be down by the park in Lower Arcadia next to Starbucks. Maybe you want to be right next to Black Rifle Coffee, like my partner, Paul. But at the end of the day, I do want to define these two aspects of home ownership, because most people that are buying a luxury home, they want what they want, and they're typically willing to pay for it. So for our spec homes, I want to discuss one of our perfect clients, and it is a story that starts about 4 years ago. Now, a lot of you guys are familiar with technology, specifically, let's say Apple products. And the Apple product has a great marketplace. It's not the same as luxury building, but they build a luxury product that a lot of people want. No one needs it, but to be honest, most people want it, and most people find a way to be able to have that product, whether it be an Apple Watch, an iPhone, an iMac, a MacBook, an iPad. The reality is that they've saturated the market and they've grabbed the majority of the market share. Now, while I don't know that that's going to be what happens here at Rebuild the Block for luxury custom home building, what I can say is the reason that they're so successful is because they build these amazing products, and then every couple years, people actually upgrade. They decide, hey, I want the new shiny toy, or I don't have enough storage for all the pictures I'm taking, and they're able to upgrade to something that meets their wants. And the reality is, although on a smaller scale, this is the same with luxury building. So 4.5 years ago, we started a development that a lot of people know as our Glen Rosa project. And this is one of the first times where we wanted to bring an elevated luxury product to a smaller market or smaller luxury-based market. At the time, homes were selling, in the $1 million to maybe $1.5 million range in the area, depending on location. And we felt that we would be able to build a superior product. And sure enough, we had a ton of interest and were able to sell those homes pretty much immediately after we went on the market. And most of the homes went to the buyer demographic that we were looking for, young working professionals that were trying to have a luxury quality product that met the wants and desires that they had to livability, not only from a functionality perspective, but from having a high design palette versus other spec homes that were going to market. And so after about 1.5 years of development, getting the lot split, building the homes, we found these 3 great buyers. And one of the buyers happened to live on this amazing home that was about 3,100 square feet, and it met everything that they needed at the time. But as we all know, the only consistent thing in life is change. And as you might have guessed, 3 years later, their lives looked a lot different. They had introduced some family members into the home with a new baby and knew that they were probably going to have a few more. And because of this nuance, they knew that they needed more space but also specifically a better entertaining environment when it comes to outdoor living. Since we live in Arizona, they wanted to enjoy the backyard setting at a much higher frequency throughout the summer. And given the price point that we had during this development project, we didn't have a specific budget that allowed us to be able to incorporate all of the things that we're able to incorporate our luxury living today, which would be a pool, hot tub, and of course, outdoor kitchen and entertaining space. And all those were amazing homes. Our homeowner quickly realized that to take on a project of that nature was a little too daunting for them, and it would displace them from the ability to actually use their backyard during the course of construction. So 2 years in, they've decided that they needed more space. And although we started looking with our acquisitions team for some opportunities, whether that was to build custom for them or find other new development opportunities, they were a little dissatisfied with some of the new homes that were coming to market, and definitely were not a fan of having to buy a resale home that had a fair amount of deferred maintenance. And knowing that this family had a desire for convenience, when we rolled out our maintenance program, it was one of the first calls that I made for a quick lunch appointment to be able to discuss how we might be able to help alleviate some of the time associated with maintaining their home, especially now that it had been past the warranty date of 2 years. During this lunch appointment, to my surprise, I was asked how our Scandinavian Ranch project was coming along. Since they follow us on a regular basis, they were aware that these projects had come to fruition, but he was unsure of whether they had sold or not. And thinking nothing of it, I said, hey, I live a few blocks away. Anytime that you want to come over, come take a peek. And the next day I got a text and said, hey, we'd love to come and check out this new residence. I said, perfect. So I met him over there for a quick walkthrough. And to be honest, I didn't really think much of it at the time. I mean, it's a pretty common occurrence for us to have pretty good relationships with anyone that buys one of our homes or that we built custom homes for. And so, we end up showing our homes to previous clients pretty frequently throughout the year. And as we walked through the home, it quickly dawned on me that this home might be a good fit for them, but I didn't really say anything. I just thought that they wanted to see one of the new products that we were putting out. So after about 30 minutes of catching up and being able to show them this beautiful home, we moved on with our days. And just 24 hours later, I got a text from this client and they said, we love the home and we'd be interested in figuring out how we might be able to put something together to be able to move in. It was at that point that we wanted to help our clients put together a game plan that would allow them to be able to achieve the goal of being able to move into a home that met and fit more of the needs and wants that they had for their family. And so after a quick conversation with me and Paul, we were able to discuss the nuances of what it would look like to get financing, put them in contact with some of our preferred lenders, to which they were able to put together a game plan that would allow them to be able to purchase the home prior to selling their previous home so that they didn't have to make 2 moves. And once we had the go from the lender and that we were able to put the financing in place, it was very easy to be able to put together a game plan to be able to sell the previous residence that they had resided in for the last 3 years. It was a super smooth process for them, and the end result allowed them to be able to not only move into this new residence that had all the exterior features and functionality that they wanted, but it also had all the interior spaces that they needed for their growing family. I'm also excited to say that the transition period between owning both homes was only 7 days, as we were able to put them under contract with another offer that we had received on our Catalina project just a few blocks away from our Scandinavian ranches and from our homes on Glen Rosa. So I know what a lot of you might be thinking at this moment. Like, that's 1 in a million. Like, what a lucky scenario. Like, this isn't something that happens on the norm. And I'll be the first to admit that that is the case. I mean, it was a very smooth process, not only for us as the home builder, but also for our clients. Not just the clients that were purchasing our Scandinavian ranch and selling their house on Glen Rosa, but also for someone that actually wanted one of our products that we weren't able to produce because we're not a high volume builder. But going back to the original comparison that I had about Apple and technology, there is an inherent benefit from a luxury buyer to be able to transition to exactly what they want or desire out of a home from a previous home that might not check all the boxes. So while the purchase process was smooth, not only for us as a builder, but for our clients, and then for a buyer that had already shown interest in our product before, that wasn't what excited me. What excited me was that we were able to find the perfect ideal buyer for our home. And we knew that going into the sale of this home because they had already resided in one of our homes for 3 years. We had already developed an amazing relationship, and they knew exactly what it is that they were going to be getting when they moved into this new residence. We're grateful for clients like them, but more importantly, we know that there's many future clients out there that quite simply haven't had the same experience in purchasing a new home. So as was already discussed, this might have been a 1 in a million type of situation. But what I can say is that when we go to market with one of our homes, that it typically is bought by someone that truly is looking for something special in the marketplace. That's something that is a cut above the rest within that given price point, that is paying attention to the details, that cares about what it is that they're building. And really, it puts us in that kind of top 20% category for buyers that can actually recognize that there's something different about the homes that we're producing over others in the marketplace. So whether you're in the market for one of our spec homes or you're looking to truly build a one-of-a-kind custom home in the Phoenix area, feel free to reach out. If you're enjoying the content, please click on that subscribe button below. And as always, have a great day.